Welcome back to Press Review. Let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. The UAE's Khaleej Times reports that India's new Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, conveyed to his Pakistani counterpart, Nawaz Sharif, the country's deep concerns relating to terrorism and made it clear to him that Islamabad must abide by its commitment to prevent its territory being used for terrorist acts. The paper also reports that Egypt's presidential election has been extended by a day in an effort to boost turnout. The Jerusalem Post leads today, reporting on the country mourning victims of the Brussels Jewish Museum attack, adding that authorities had arrested one suspect they believe may have played a role in the shooting. The paper also reports that former Foreign Minister David Levy decided against joining the crowded field of candidates in the June 10th presidential election on Tuesday afternoon, hours ahead of the midnight deadline to enter the contest. Lebanon's Daily Star reports that British pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline is investigating claims that its employees are involved in bribery in Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq and Poland. The paper also reports that the head of Lebanon's largest Christian group, the Maronite Catholics, has begun a politically charged tour of the remains of an Arab village destroyed by Israeli forces half a century ago. From Saudi Arabia, the Arab News reports that a senior Iranian official has voiced hope that talks between the Saudi and Iranian foreign ministers could begin soon. However, he expressed doubts over whether the meeting would result in a swift solution to key issues. The paper also reports the Dutch Foreign Minister Frans Timmermans is to visit Saudi Arabia to ward off possible trade sanctions against the Netherlands. Egypt Independent reports that polling stations opened at 9 a.m. for the third consecutive day for voters to cast their ballots in presidential elections after the Presidential Elections Commission decided to extend the voting process due to the low turnout. The paper also reports that Foreign Minister Nabil Fahmy met with his Algerian counterpart Ramadan Al Amara in the Algerian capital. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East news from UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East news reporting that Hamas has said it has held its last cabinet meeting in Gaza City ahead of an expected announcement of Palestine's long-awaited unity government with its once bitter rival Fatah. The paper says the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is expected to announce the makeup of the Hamas-Fatah unity government in Ramallah by the end of the week. The Independent leads its Middle East news, reporting that when Saudi Arabia's elderly king took the unusual step of naming a deputy heir, the move initially was welcomed as a sign of continuity in a country that soon will confront major questions over the future of its leadership. However, the paper says in subsequent weeks the announcement has stirred a rare outburst of dissent, with royal tongues wagging about the manner in which the Mukrin was chosen, the validity of his title and his pedigree as the son of a Yemeni concubine who was never married to his father. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East news in international papers. China's Global Times reports that overseas Syrians have started to cast ballots in the presidential election to choose between President Bashar al-Assad, former Minister Hassan al-Nouri and lawmaker Mahir Hajar. The paper adds that those abroad can vote only if they have a valid passport, legal residence in the countries they live and had legally left Syria. The LA Times reports that Egypt's election went into overtime on Wednesday as the government sought to drum up more votes for ex-military chief Abdel Fattah Sisi, but turnout again appeared lackluster on the hastily added third day of polling. The paper says the move to extend the voting drew criticism from at least one election observer group, US-based Democracy International, which says the step raises more questions about the independence of the Election Commission, the impartiality of the government, and the integrity of Egypt's electoral process. And finally, Germany's Deutsche Welle reports that Tunisia's government has said that 4 policemen had died during an attack in the western Kasserine region on the traditional family home of Interior Minister Lotfi Benjeddu. The paper says the nighttime attack followed the recent removal in Tunis of a barbed wire fence that had barred access to the Interior Ministry building for more than 3 years. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.